So this is a kind of a wild situation currently happening that involves the anime man. And well, let's just see what's happening here.
Hey, what's up guys, Rev here. So I say this next phrase with massive air quotes around it. So there is a series of allegations being made against the anime man. Now I say allegations, it's really just slander with no evidence, calling him a predator for, well, the reasons you can probably predict. So people getting slandered over anime is nothing new on Twitter. We see it every day. But it's really interesting to me to see how viral some of these tweets can go. And unfortunately for the anime man, that is exactly what happened to him. So this is a tweet that has gone pretty viral right here, saying, I know this
tweet. I retweeted it.
N-word is in shambles, with a picture of the anime man. And of course, this is referring to a quote retweet that they are responding to.
So let me sum up the situation for those of you who do not know what's going on. I, by the way, personally also don't know fully what's going on or understand the situation. But then again, I literally do not care. So the purists who are going to say, oh, you shouldn't talk about things that you don't know. Shut up, no one cares, okay? We're here to have a little bit of fun, because I don't care what the truth in this situation is. I know some very basic facts, and let me spill it out for you. This is a grown man using an avatar, lolly avatar, okay, for his videos. And we know exactly what this means. We know exactly, most likely, what his preferences are. Now, admittedly, just pure opinion, but you can deduce a lot from this. And this is the same thing that deals with the anime man. You know, he has a lot of takes on the internet that pretty much go like this. But she's actually a 5,000-year-old vampire. Oh, but she's actually a 10,000-year-old spirit being. When it comes to talking about girls that look of a certain type, you know? Of a certain, not exactly old enough type, you know? That kind of situation. And, you know, we joke about this a lot on the internet. We joke about this as humans constantly, about the 10,000-year-old thing. But if you are openly admitting that you like that as a body type, let's just not kid ourselves here. Chances that you are something pretty devious is very, very, very high. Because there's no singular thing as just preferring that body type, okay? That's just flat out wrong. And when you openly talk about these things and admit, which he pretty much kind of technically has done, you know, problems arise. And the reason why this person is clearly defending him is because you can see what kind of avatar he is using as a VTuber or whatever. It just paints the picture that you all already understand here, okay? And so this is kind of a deal.
Anime man, and of course this is referring to a quote retweet that they are responding to, where it is talking about the age of consent in Japan being raised from 13 to 16. And that is enough to get almost 60,000 likes. Nearly 60,000 likes on a tweet insinuating that Joey is a predator and would be upset.
Well, it's a little bit more than insinuation. Again, you can't just be a fan of a certain body type, okay? That's not just how the world goes, okay? You, who is most likely also a fan of a certain body type, in my opinion, obviously. But by the way, for those of you who don't know, the 13 is the technical legal age, but every prefecture or district or whatever you want to call it in Japan, it has it set at like 16, 17, or 18 by default. There are only like, I don't know, a couple of places where 13 is still the legal thing. But yeah, so this is actually not a big deal. But it is an absolute hilarious tweet, and that's why I retweeted it. It's such a good tweet.
About these age of consent laws being changed in Japan. So I hit myself in the head with a hammer about 5 times before starting this video, because I wanted to understand the absolutely brain-dead logic this person's trying to use, and somehow nearly 60,000 people agree with. They're essentially saying that Joey is either a predator or is a predator because he's a lolicon, and he would be upset.
Yeah, there's no such thing as being a lolicon and not a predator. That doesn't exist.
about the age of consent being raised. So let me try to explain how dumb this is, all right? Number one, just for clarity's sake, the age of consent right there being referred to is the national age of consent. That has been raised by all of the Japanese prefectures many, many years ago. All of those age of consents in each prefecture is essentially the same as any other place in the world. People,
except a couple of. We watched a video about this not too long ago, honestly. It was pretty interesting. There is like at least one that where it wasn't raised.
tote this 13-year-old national standard because there's only one place in Japan where it applies, and that is a remote island with single-digit inhabitants living there. Okay.
Well, yeah, that's why they didn't ever raise it, because they kind of need that to be pretty low. Otherwise, that island's not probably going to survive. Wow.
That's just people pointing out this 13-year-old thing. It's a product of either being disingenuous or blatantly ignorant about the topic to make Japan and Japanese people look bad. Okay?
No one cares about that. This is a pure deflection of some kind of weeaboo loser who wants to be Japanese so badly. Or maybe is Japanese and doesn't understand that his culture is not actually that great. That the Japanese culture is actually pretty sad if you actually understand anything.
But going off of that, they're doing this because either they truly in their hearts believe Joey is a predator, which of course they have no evidence to support, or they're insinuating that he is essentially one because he is a lolicon. Now, I haven't watched Joey or his YouTube videos in several years, but from the time that I did, it was blatant.
So he's just defending this on the idea that a lolicon is not a predator. Bruh. Oh, okay, I guess that's one way to expose yourself, I guess.
Obvious he was a lolicon, okay? And that's not surprising because most of his anime YouTube friends at the time were also openly lolicons. Now, since time has passed, I think a lot of them have tried to hide that past of theirs or that interest of theirs because they don't want to get canceled, but this is proof they're going to slander you no matter what. But nonetheless, they're saying that because he's a lolicon, he would be mad about the age of consent being raised. So
yeah, that kind of follows one to one. That's basic logic right there.
I don't know if this helps this user. Drawings cannot consent. You are saying a man who has an interest in a particular set of drawings would be upset about the age of consent relating to real people.
Yes,
drawings cannot consent.
Yes.
That extension of logic makes absolutely no sense. And somehow still, nearly 60,000 likes insinuating not only that he's a predator, but also using logic that makes absolutely no sense.
Yeah, keep telling yourself that.
The quote retweets on this, they are an orphanage, okay? There is so much fatherless behavior, it is actually quite mind-boggling. So I thought we would take some time and point in...
Well, this person probably would know what fatherless behavior is, considering how he ended up in his life. Jesus. If there is a father, he has already he came back from the 20-year-old cigarette trip, and now he's like, better go get some milk for another 20 years.
Laugh at these quotes because they are they're priceless. So here's the first one saying, I don't know about y'all, but fictional or not, enjoying poontang of characters that look like children is weird as hell. It's just a drawing. How does that change anything? How does that change anything? I think the fact that there's a difference between real people and drawings is pretty important. I would ask this person.
Yeah, but it's called a slippery slope for a reason. Like, you know, if you're interested in drawings like that, how is that not gonna slowly trickle down to the closest thing available in real life? Which is gonna be literally children. How does that not follow that path? How? Because it does.
Person, if a random stranger came up to you on the street and said, I'm gonna shoot someone, would it make a difference if they were talking about a real person or a drawing? Would there be a difference in how you would react to that?
No.
It's the same thing with drawings versus real life, okay? I think...
Wait! This is the stupidest thing. If someone came up to me and said, I'm gonna shoot someone, I would call the police. And he can explain, oh, it's actually, I was actually talking about the drawing later. I don't give a shit. I'm calling the police. There is literally no difference, bruh. If you don't... What kind of argument is this?
I think there's a difference here. And the funny thing is, what they're saying here, this first part, totally valid. Totally valid. You can find this stuff weird. You can find lolly, anime, any of that stuff. Any stylized drawings like that, you can find them weird. You're completely entitled to that. But the line gets drawn when people start accusing you of pedophilia over drawings while you're also benefiting actual predators by watering down that term to apply to something that doesn't fit.
Oh, wait, no, that's not actually... That's not watering it down. That's making it more strict, which is good. You know? If we can shame people for just for, you know, liking that stuff, that's good. That's a benefit to society.
But again, you're valid in having that feeling, but don't let it melt your brain to the point where you're saying drawings and real people are the same and there's no difference between them. Like, come on, dude. This next one says, the anime man has always been a massive nonce, and it's only a matter of time before they find cheese pizza on his hard drive. Cheese pizza meaning
That's British
CP.
also.
So I see a lot of replies like this one, not just directed at the anime man, but other content creators as well, all the time. These people allow their disliking of a content creator get to the point where they're excited about the possibility of that person being outed as a groomer or having...
That's a stupid point. They probably dislike the content creator in the first place because they think their actions are sus like this. So them saying that they're probably gonna get caught for something like this is completely illogical because they dislike them in the first place because they think that the possibility like that for people like that is very, very high. There is no fallacy in that way of thinking. It follows a very basic sense.
CP on their hard drive. Let me make this very clear to this person. In order for that to happen, in order for you to justify your disliking of this content creator, a real-life child would have to be hurt in that scenario. You are giddy about the possibility of a child being hurt just so you can celebrate disliking a random person on the internet who doesn't even know you exist. That is completely delusional. Never.
That take is also completely delusional because that would imply that a child would never have gotten hurt in the first place if that content creator didn't have any CP. Probably the child got hurt anyway.
Never let these people convince you they actually care about kids when they get excited at the possibility of some content creator they don't like getting outed as a groomer or some sort of a predator. Like, they enjoy the own much more than any care or regard for real children that would be hurt in that scenario.
This is gonna be here's pretty another one saying, stupid, isn't it?
Remember when him and some other anime-based YouTubers made a video reacting to CP? Do you guys think there's a video on YouTube right now that you could search up where the anime man and other YouTubers would be reacting to CP, like actual CP? Yeah, you know this person's referring to anime, but the way these people make these disingenuous statements, it's so
that makes
reeking
sense.
Of desperation. Like, why do you have to insinuate something that's clearly not true? I don't know. Again, allowing your hate of some random person online to divulge into these fantasies.
Yeah, it's gonna be all like that, isn't it?
Is just, well, it's kind of a cell phone at that point. But here's another one saying he deserves the slander.
True.
Does he?
Yes.
The guy who makes videos you don't like, he deserves to be slandered and called the worst thing in the world with...
Yeah, he's openly advocating and supporting behaviors that I find detrimental to society at large. Yeah. Yeah, I would say that definitely deserves slander in my opinion. Yeah. Yeah, 100%. No questions asked. 100%.
No evidence just because you don't like him. Also, speaking of deserving...
I mean, the evidence is there, as this person said themselves, that he just fully admits to it. So, I don't know what kind of evidence more we need to be talking about. Oh boy, these are going to be really stupid, aren't they?
Do you think real victims of CSA deserve to have a term like pedophile be watered down to the point where It actually benefits the real predators because they're not taken as seriously because this is being
No. Again, this is a completely stupid idea. The fact that we are, this is the exact. His opinion, in fact, is in value for those people because he wants to relax the people's opinions of this. Oh, it's not a real kid. Oh, wait, is this not a gateway? No, of course not. It's all good, right? No, the stricter we are with these things, the better. If it looks like that, and if it's too much in the direction of that, the stricter you are, the better. So shaming people like that is actually good because we are making it stricter. People understand that they don't even need to actually do this. They need to just advocate for it, and then they are going to be, set out to hang. And that's good. That's good.
thrown out as a buzzword to own people on the internet. Do you think real victims of abuse deserve that? That's pretty strange, because it's not just slandering people like Joey, it's also watering down the term in related terms to the point where real victims of abuse are seeing a term that is correctly applied to their abusers being watered down by internet beef. It's so pathetic. Like, I just don't understand how people don't get it. They don't understand the damage that causes. But moving on, another one here saying, I met him and his girlfriend in person at MomoCon. I can't believe this is how I find out they like Lolly and Shota. And a lot of people are dragging Aki Dearest, his partner, into all of this. And again, I don't understand how anyone would consume any meaningful level of his content and not know this about him. It seems completely impossible to me. It's like a South Park fan being...
That's stupid. I have seen the Trash Takes podcast, and he's a part of it, by the way. That's how I even know about this guy. And he never talks about it. You can easily consume his content and not have a single clue about this stuff. Because it's probably not something that he mentions every 5 seconds of his existence. Again, I'm not going to probably watch further because all of these points are completely, utterly moronic. And, well, you know who this person probably is, what he's like. If he needs to defend these type of actions, you know which way the wind is blowing. And it's judge a book by its cover. Always judge a book by its cover, because the cover is never wrong. There's a reason why that cover exists on that book. You know, if they look like a creep, they're probably a creep. It is what it is. It is what it is. Anyway, like and subscribe, comment down below, and have a nice day. Bye-bye.